Yo, people. So, yep, I have another one. And I've only just spotted this one today. So I've quickly done it because I think it's a relatively easy one to see. Um, and it's relevant to what's happening today. So hopefully people will pick up on it. But let's get straight into it. I believe that Brian Rose of London Real podcast and also candidate for last year's London Mayor is also Rahm Emanuel, ex-Chicago Mayor. And there he is. And if we put them both together, we can see the similarities. Now, obviously, the hair is very much the same. Obviously, Brian Rose is a little bit shorter. They've changed the eyes, and the eyebrows definitely take the look away from him. Obviously, Brian's not smiling there. The other guy's smiling. It is slightly different, but there's definitely enough there to look like the same person. So how did I come across this? Well, basically today, as I post this, London Real and David Icke are doing one of their 1000th chats or something. Still banging on about crap. And because of that, I was sort of looked on the London Real thing, and I came across this London Real for sale. I just watched it, and then I read the comments, and I came across this comment here. Is it just me, or Brian Rose looks exactly like ex-Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel? And obviously you can see I've replied. And so I Googled it and straight away was like, oh yeah, blatantly. So shout out to Ferragu12 for putting me onto this accidentally, and hopefully this will awaken you and you see this video and see the rest of my videos as well, because if you're already spotting things like this, then you're starting to awaken to this. Now, I actually been watching London Real since basically when it started, or right there or thereabouts. So they did some really good videos. So when people were talking about Brian Rose being a scammer, I didn't sort of accept it for a long time, because I was like, I've been watching him for years. He seems genuine. I knew he was an ex-banker, so I sort of liked that about him, because I was like, okay, he's an ex-banker, he's ruthless, he's a businessman, he's about money. So I know that about him. So because I knew that about him, I felt like it was out there, that's got his kind of character. But yeah, I mean, slowly but surely, although he was saying good things against the system, there were certain things that I can't mention on YouTube because it will be banned and strikes and whatever else, that he was advocating for, and it was becoming apparent that he was part of the system. And when he was running for mayor, and this photo come out, I think it was from the Times newspaper, I mean, case was closed. Brian Rose is a Freemason and blatantly part of the system. So as I said, Brian Rose is doing the London Real thing. This is what put me onto this, and his 1000th chat with David Icke. They're still banging on, pretending they're saving the world together. So blatant Freemasonic partnership, and if you don't believe Icke's part of it, let's have a look at some basics. So there's Icke doing Illuminati symbolism and a Freemasonic hand claw. Look at the left hand, or should I say his right hand, the hand on the left. Are you a Mason? There's the M hand, the M claw, and there's Hitler and various other people from history who are Freemasons doing the M hand signal, the Masonic claw. So there's a picture of Brian Rose looking dodgy as you like, and obviously he ran for mayor. So the blatant connection is that Rahm Emanuel is the ex-Chicago mayor, which is just a blatant connection. So Brian Rose is a podcaster, but he's also a ex-banker and worked in New York City. And Rahm Emanuel was also a banker, which is another blatant connection, and in a bank that is based in New York City, which is just blatant connections. So I just want to point out that Rahm Emanuel has got a finger missing, and Brian Rose hasn't, and he likes to show you there, which is obviously something they can easily fake by putting on a prosthetic finger. So yeah, let's have a look at his wife. So this is Rahm Emanuel's wife. There she is there. And this is Brian Rose's wife. And if we put them together, if you notice the sort of pointy look, obviously they've changed the hair colour, makeup, but the like pointy nose sort of look, pointy chin, blatantly the same person. And then this is Brian Rose's stepdaughter, the daughter of his wife. And if you look at the daughter on the right of Rahm Emanuel, I suggest that they are the same people. So the internet is awash with Brian Rose is a scammer stuff. And if you read this here from ScamGuard, I expressed my disappointment for many reasons, and London Real ignored me and gave me the runaround for over a month. I eventually received a very brief email basically saying thank you for the feedback. However, our terms and conditions state no refunds. So yeah, for me, another obvious one, good one to wake people up. The links are there. They're both mayors. They were both ex-bankers from New York. I mean, they look similar. Their wives look the same. They've got a daughter that looks the same. You know, it's obvious. But just remember, they change things to make them look different because, you know, they do look different here, but this is what they do. But the basics are there and the links are there. So I'm bang on 100% once again. So Brian Rose of London Real has just been exposed as just another actor. Peace!